Hello and welcome to this Fotospeed video with me, Tim Jones, and today I'm joined by landscape photographer Julian Baird.
Hello there.
Hello, and today we are looking at panoramic prints and specifically printing panoramic prints on the Canon PRO-1100, which, Julian, you have just acquired.
Yeah, and I'm really excited about this because I've had the PRO-1100 now for about 6 months and I've done lots of A2 prints, but I haven't tried the panoramic feature, the feature that lets you print. It was over 3 meters in length.
Yeah, up to 3 meters. Yeah,
on a 17-inch paper.
Yeah.
So I was really excited about making this video, and I'm going to see this come to life. So yeah.
So that's what we've done today, and we're going to talk you through how we actually did it and show you screenshots and all that kind of thing of how we actually went about this. But first, before we get into any of that, don't forget to subscribe to the Fotospeed YouTube channel and also sign up to the Fotospeed newsletter and download The Art of Printing from us here at Fotospeed, the free ebook. It tells you everything about printing you possibly need, but all the links are in the description below as usual. So also, I should say, Julian's website and own YouTube channel is down there as well. So make sure you subscribe to that as well as subscribing to the Fotospeed website while you're here. So, housekeeping done. Let's talk about this amazing shot, because I think before we get into the technical side of actually how we printed it, I think I want to, and I think everyone out there will probably want to know where this is shot and where and how and all the technical bits that we all love to hear, really.
Right, so this picture is from the Isle of Harris, out in the Outer Hebrides. Quite a journey certainly from down where I live anyway. It's about a 2-day journey to get from Devon up to the Isle of Harris. And this particular view looks onto Luscantire Beach here. And I'm not going to pronounce the name of this other beach because I'll get mullered in the comments for getting the pronunciation wrong. But it's a really interesting viewpoint because this glorious, glorious view is actually a roadside location. Oh wow! You can literally drive your car up, step out the door, and you present it with this beautiful view. Though, well, it's probably not always looking this good in the light. So when I took this picture, it was on a tripod, and it is a panoramic stitch. Okay. So if from memory, this has been shot with my Nikon Z8 in a vertical orientation, and I would have shot, I would imagine, about 9 vertical photographs. Obviously, I have to do that pretty quickly as well because we've got elements that are changing within the scene itself. It's Isle of Harris, so it's going to be windy. So there's going to be the clouds are going to be moving, waves. So you need to be able to shoot reasonably quickly. So obviously you've got to get the camera set up. But yeah, that would have been 9 shots taken vertically, and then back at home, I would have stitched those together in Lightroom. Okay. And that would have given me this panoramic.
Yeah, I was going to say, does the camera do it, or do you?
No, it all has to be done. So merge them together. I would have shot each frame in manual settings, so fixed aperture, fixed shutter speed, fixed white balance. And the reason you do that is you don't want each of your frames changing, because even if you have it in automatic white balance, the color balance could shift between each shot.
Yeah, it would shift from over here to
here. And I've got a leveling head and all sorts of things to make the panoramic process easy. But then, you get it back to Lightroom, it stitches it all together, you then edit the picture, and then I can't remember how many hundreds of megapixels the resulting image was, but eventually I would have cropped it to 6:17 ratio, which is quite wide. And the reason I normally go 6:17 is because that's roughly the aspect ratio of your panoramic paper, which I like to use quite a bit, which I've used in some of my older printers like the PRO-100 and the PRO-300. So that gives you a nice panoramic format.
So that's a smaller panoramic.
Small panoramic, and you don't have to trim it. So that's why I tend to crop my pictures roughly for that ratio. So this is why I'm particularly excited to be translating this to something even bigger. So
we've made this panoramic here is 431 millimeters by, I think it's 1200.
1200. So so it's 400. What did you say? 13?
31.
431 this way.
1200 that
almost
way.
1.2 meters. Across. It's a good size, isn't it?
We put a nice little border around it and trimmed it and that, and it's I think it just works really well. I mean, it's the detail I think that we're seeing on the print.
I'm blown away
Obviously,
I have
it's
to
a
say.
shot, isn't it?
Well,
But there's a depth in it, and especially when you
Yeah.
print this big, I think you go into a picture, don't you? Especially,
especially a panoramic.
yeah,
And I've looked at this picture numerous times on the screen. I've printed it. I've printed it on the panoramic paper. I've looked at it and all the detail there. But when you look at it this big, you really start to notice stuff. I mean, I've noticed birds down at the beach here. There's a couple walking off there in the distance.
I didn't notice that.
All these tiny little bits of detail start popping up when you get something this big.
I have to say, on the print, and talking about that, there's always something, even if you print A4, I think there's something that you'll see and you'll notice in there, but especially when you go big.
Yeah.
And I think having the facility to go big is something that is really nice to have, and the 1100 gives you that now.
It does, yeah. And I got the 1100 because I wanted to go A2. So this is a feature I was going to try. So it's really exciting to come here and try it because I was. Like I said, I've looked at this photograph numerous times. I've got a really nice monitor at home. It's high quality, high resolution, but the things that I'm picking out from this picture, I didn't even realise were there.
There's something else in the picture.
Yeah, it's the power of the print.
It's come to
isn't
life, isn't it?
It has come to life, and and I know people that print on a regular basis often talk about their photographs coming to life. I certainly do myself, but this is a great example of that happening.
Yeah. Well, if you want to do this yourself, then you're in the right place. We'll show you how we actually did this, because it's not as difficult as you think. Basically, we are treating this sheet of paper as a cut sheet within the 1100. So how we go about it is, Julian's explained how we handled the file and cropped it and things like that. So I think it was about 2.6 gig.
Is that what? Was that the test file?
When I copied it across to my computer to size it and everything, and I popped it into Lightroom. But you can use your own program. You can use Photoshop, or the professional printer layout would be another great program to use. So once it's in the program, the first thing we need to do is we go into the print section of your software, be it the print module in Lightroom like I've done, and we need to size the paper or the kind of page size accordingly. So we do this by going into page setup. So we go to manage custom paper size. The size is in there. If you're on a PC, it may be user defined. It may be called other little things, but it's about those custom sizes that you can set. So the first thing we need to do is select the printer we're on. So we're on the 1100, and then we need to pop in our sizes. So we worked out, I went online and found that 17 inches was 431.8 millimeters. So I popped that into the software. I'm sorry, I don't know all these sizes off the top of my head. Apart from 24 inch, which is 610. I can remember that one, but the rest of them, no. So, because we're using 17-inch paper, it's on a roll basically. So we're going to be cutting from the roll to do this as well, but we'll talk about that in a second. The other thing we need to do is decide on the length. So because we've cropped it to a certain ratio, we can work out how big or long we need to do the paper. And in our case, it was 1200 millimeters. There is little tricks, like we can make it 2 meters, say, and then we can use the cell size. And as soon as the image starts to move, that'll give you your minimum kind of size it needs to be and things like that. There's little tricks, but it's best to work it out and then take it, resize your file perhaps, and find the actual file size so you can size it correctly so you can get the right kind of borders and things like that. So once we've done that, we can just click OK, and then hopefully when we click Save and OK, it comes on our page, and then we can start to just print it as we normally would effectively. So we set our margins, so we've got a nice 20mm margin all the way around the outside. We've also got our profile assigned and any little print sharpening or anything like that you want to add. And then we can go into the print dialog and set our media type. So this is the high white smooth paper, which comes in a 17-inch roll from us here at Fotospeed. So we select the high white smooth profile, and then we also select heavyweight fine art as the media type. Now, there was a slight issue with that, but we will come back to that in a second, because we did do 2 of these prints to make sure we got it right. And there was a couple of issues on the first one, but we will come back to that. Now, once we've done that, we can click print, and then obviously the data will be sent to the printer and it will print for us. So hopefully it's not, most people will be okay with that and kind of go through how we do it. Now, the next bit is we have to actually get a 17-inch roll. So this can be any paper that we produce here at Fotospeed, and there's a big list of 17-inch roll papers on our website. So have a look. We do most of the papers that we offer, fine art papers and photo papers in 17-inch. So you can pop them all through your 1100. Now, also what we need to do is we need to cut the length from the roll. So this lovely video of me here is me struggling to cut 1100mm from a roll. I went a little bit over just to be on the safe side, so we can always trim this down a little bit. But as you can see, I've got a guillotine here just to cut it down, but you can do it on a cutting mat with a blade or a knife and just cut it down yourself. So once that's done, we just feed it into the printer, click print, and then hopefully the paper will be taken up, which it was in this case, and it prints through. And so you can see here, it takes about, I don't know, how long did it take?
It didn't take very long. It seemed to come
4
off
minutes.
quite quickly. Yeah,
4 or 5 minutes.
But it's very exciting 4 minutes,
It
I have to
was,
say,
yeah.
watching all the bits of detail
then-
come through.
And it came out, and it was very painless, to be honest.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to have paper, it wouldn't load the paper correctly and all that, but you have to just steady it as you put it in the top.
Yeah.
But apart from that, it kind of took the paper absolutely fine and printed it.
And actually, because paper came from a roll, it was quite curly when you had
it's
it on.
led
But
quite
actually,
flat.
it's barely got any
Yeah,
curve in it now that it's been printed off.
We do the decurlers,
Yeah.
so if you did want to decurl it, but usually just keeping it nice and flat like this overnight, it will naturally just flatten
And then
out.
it'll go very nicely in a frame after that.
Yeah, and just have it framed, and it'll look absolutely stunning because, like you said, the detail is unbelievable. It's I don't know if it's testament to the printer or the camera or the photographer, or a combination of all.
Combination of all three, shall we say? Yeah.
But let's talk about a few of the issues we had though, because, like I said, this is the second print we made. It wasn't the first. Our first attempt did have a couple of little things that we were going to hide from you, to be honest, in the video and just say, oh, look, everything's perfect. However, we thought it'd make, as we've had these issues, I think it'd be nice to highlight a few little things that just to watch out for and just to kind of highlight. Now, a couple of things we did have was we got a little bit of dust in the printer when we were cutting the roll and things like that. And I think there's a couple of little marks on the print, which has kind of caused some problems for us. And we didn't know if they were in the image or they were blurred or something, but went back and had a check. And when we reprinted it, they're not in the final one, but there's some little marks and things.
These aren't necessarily issues uniquely to printing long panoramics.
No,
These can happen if you're not careful.
Yeah,
With,
you could have it
your
on an
prints.
A4,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Yeah.
It's kind of, it's just something just to watch out for. And afraid to say, it's one of those things with printing. Sometimes,
Yeah.
sometimes you just need to make a second print because there might be a little mark or a little bit of dust fell on
And
it.
it's
or
all, and it's a
something.
good reason to use gloves.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm guilty
definitely.
myself of not always using gloves, but no, not transferring bits of dust onto your paper, because it could be dust on the paper,
Yeah.
and then I think is what's happened.
Yeah, I think
happened in
that
one.
was what that was. And then also we had a bit of banding going through as well,
Yeah.
because it was going through and it was caused by the feed of the paper. Now we solved this by going into the media configuration tool. I'll put a link to the video below, and we did a feed adjustment on the paper. And we did this on an A4 sheet, and it corrected this for us. So we did a feed adjustment and created a custom media type for high white smooth, and it seemed to take away the issue for us, and it removed all that banding for us.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's worth doing anyway. If you're using the media configuration tool, as soon as you set up a new paper type and you do all the work associated with that you do a feed adjustment first,
Yeah.
rather than wait until you've got a problem.
I think it might be something to watch that video that I've done on it
Yeah.
and taking you through it, because it might be, if you are going to do this, it might be worth just setting up those media types with a feed adjustment, so you're just not wasting a couple of meters of paper, basically. I think to start with, you may be absolutely fine, but in our case, we did have a bit of banding on here, which we took away. And basically all it did was just adjust the speed that the paper moves through the printer, so we don't get these dark lines coming up. You especially see it in the dark blues over here. But those two were the only real problems we had, weren't they? I mean, everything else, apart from those two little niggles, all we did was just reprint it with that adjustment and produce this lovely final print, to be honest.
Yeah.
Hope you're happy with it.
I'm extremely happy with it. Like I say, it's just printing this big is a bit of an eye opener. And
Yeah.
and you can really, like you say, see the detail and the sharpness, and the quality you can get for the cameras and the printers these days.
It's just it's the way you've edited it as well, and kind of the way you shot it as well. But it's that depth and the light as well coming through.
I can't take credit for the light, unfortunately.
No, you have to wait. You have to wait for it, yeah. But you've got that lovely depth and everything.
It's the colours as well.
Yeah,
it's the colours in the Isle of Harris, especially the turquoise blues. I mean, this is Scotland.
Yeah.
And you got beaches like that, white sands and turquoise seas. So it's an amazing place.
It's just cold.
It can be cold. It can be cold.
Beautiful. It's great.
Yeah.
It looks lovely and warm, but no. Anyway. But yeah, well, hopefully that's kind of shown you what you can do with your 1100 and proved to you that you can create amazing panoramics like this. You don't need to buy a big roll machine to do it. You are limited to 17-inch. However, we do a lovely range of 17-inch papers in most of our papers we do. So it's worth giving it a try. So as always, don't forget to subscribe to the Fotospeed YouTube channel, and thank you for Julian for joining me again in this video today. Let me print one of his pictures and hopefully showing you how we can do this on the 1100. Don't forget to sign up to the Fotospeed newsletter and download The Art of Printing. And also don't forget we release new videos here on the Fotospeed YouTube channel every week as well. So until then, bye-bye.